Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the basic course of presentation. I hope you remember that I touched a little bit upon two words at the end of the last talk. They are the idea and message. And I said that these two terms differentiate speech and presentation. Without these two words, without these two concepts, the speech cannot be made into the presentation. Right? I hope you remember that. So this time, I'd like to take some more time to explain why is it so important to know the difference of these two words, and not only difference but also the conceptual, the similarity of these two words. Right? And I try to explain why the presentation really needs these two words and the concept expressed by these two words: idea and message. Right? Idea is very basic, the body, main part of how I think about the event or the situation I was in. Right? And message is the vertical, the verbal form of the idea. Right? So with this very little understanding, please listen to my short story. It was more than 20 years ago when I was teaching at the girls' high school in the suburbs of Tokyo. That school, the girls' high school, it's a junior high and a senior high, and it's very famous for English study and learning, because the first principal of that school was an American sister. So in a week, 7 or 8 hours every week of English, right? And that's why no wonder they had the English speech contest once a year. Okay? And every time, more than 20 students took part in that speech contest, and 3 or 4 judges are going to decide who would be the winner. Right? And when I was teaching that school, I was supposed to supervise one student, right? And that girl was an enthusiastic girl, and her speech is just like that. Right? One day, 2 weeks ago, I went for a walk to a park nearby, and there in that park, I met the kind gentleman, and with praying children, a very cute boy and a girl. And the gentleman was very kind and generous. I had a very good talk with the gentleman, and I prayed together with those grandchildren, and we had a very good time. I really enjoyed that day. It was a very nice day. She stood still with a big smile on her face, right? And I was just waiting for the next chapter of that talk. But she said nothing. And I asked, "Is that all?" She answered, "Yes, it is." So you can understand that this is just a speech. She explained, she experienced that experience. She had that experience, and she enjoyed that. But that is her own story, not mine. It doesn't have anything to do with our reality, our lives. It is just a speech. Right? If you are that girl, how did you make that speech into presentation? Right? So if I were that girl, I would say these kind of things. For example, yes, I really enjoyed that talk very much. And that was a very peaceful day. I really enjoyed that day. Right? Then, but please think about these days of very severe, very brutal criminal might be included in a very terrible event. So, what we should do to keep the safe park, where we can pray, we can talk, enjoy talk, and we can have a very nice day. So please think about that. I'd like to explain my idea to keep how to keep the safe park. And if I give them very clear, very specific, the idea, then that might be an ABCC's call for action, and that is the presentation. You see, your experience is just an experience. To look at it from different angle, different situation, different standpoint, so that you can come up with a new idea hidden in that meaning. And on the basis of that meaning hidden in that situation, if you can share a new idea to keep that idea and a meaning, that is the presentation. I hope you can understand the difference between speech and presentation.